Kanroji took a step forward and confronted Child Demon, giving him a warning and implying that he would take Nezuko and Genya away from him if he didn't back down. Despite this, Demon quick to assault her with the thunder death power he possessed. Tanjiro was able to rescue Kanroji just as the combat was getting underway thanks to his prompt arrival. However, she struck back by using her Love Thunder technique to unleash an attack, and the opponent was left speechless by her incredible fighting prowess. Tanjiro remained motionless as he saw Kanroji engage in fierce combat. While this was going on, Demon drew into the strength of his Blood Demon, which boosted his demonic skills and accelerated his movement. But Kanroji was able to maintain her composure with ease, because he was so determined, unleashed his greatest might, which caused Kanroji to become immobile and freeze in place. Demon realized that Kanroji's great power originated from her outstanding physique when he slowly approached her with his attention set on her strong figure, which stood in stark contrast to that of other girls her age. Kanroji's prior life as a regular human named Matsuri was suddenly brought to light by a flashback that abruptly stopped his train of thought. Someone had warned her in the past that her unique pink hair color would prohibit her from ever finding a suitable spouse. At the age of 14 months, she hauled weights that were well beyond what was expected of a girl her age and succeeded in battles against her father's friends. Even more surprisingly, several people referred to her as a kung fu player. Matsuri did not end up getting married, despite the fact that she was 17 years old because of her hair and her powers. She made the choice to color her hair black. After some time, she was successful in persuading a man to marry her, and the two of them later found themselves looking at their own reflections in the water while standing on a bridge. At that very moment, her thoughts were engaged in a fierce conflict. She suddenly snapped out of her trance and realized that she had passed out. They were escorting her away from the young demon with Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya carrying her. She overheard them calling her name, reiterating their confidence in her talents, and promising that they would not allow her to pass away. Her face was covered in tears, as a surge of newly discovered strength coursed through her body. She climbed to her feet, took a firm grip on her sword, and moved closer to the monster. Kanroji stated unequivocally that her parents could not contain their happiness when they learned that their daughter was a demon slayer. Even a local shopkeeper in her hamlet had given her a present of her preferred piece of fabric. Her resilience originated from the unwavering support of her parents. At this moment, she rushed furiously towards the direction of the demon, resolute in her mission to save them. Kanroji re-emerged with enhanced vigor, breaking every thread of the blood demon's hold as it attempted to use its blood demon might. The devil became furious as a result. While this was going on, Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya made their escape, and eventually Tanjiro found out where the demon thing lies in the forest. It reacted with its powers, creating lengthy branches that entangled those who had attacked it. Genya's teeth were so sharp that he was able to bite through the branches that were holding him captive and release himself despite the unbreakable grip. Nezuko and Tanjiro subsequently got saved by Genya, utilizing Nezuko's blood demon power and Tanjiro's dance of the fire god to remove the tree branches by setting fire to them. The demon started crying as she lamented the lack of sympathy that had been shown to her despite the fact that she had been honest. Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya persisted in their pursuit of her despite her attempts to flee. Mitsuri engages in battle with Zohakuten as Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya go after the upper-rank 4 demon Hantengu. Before pursuing Hantengu, who is constantly transforming into other forms in order to evade him, despite the demon's best attempts, Tanjiro is able to catch up to him and strike him with his fiery blade. The demon is defeated. In spite of this, Hantengu undergoes yet another transformation, which allows him to gain the upper hand on Tanjiro and seize his head. Genya intervenes to assist Tanjiro, but as a consequence, the two of them end up plunging off a cliff together. Despite the fact that it is in a severely weakened state and unable to restore its strength, the Hantengu actively seeks out humans to feed. At this particular moment, Tokido tosses a pretty new blade to Tanjiro, despite Haganezuka's protests that the sword is not yet finished being crafted in its entirety. Tanjiro seizes the blade and executes a devastating blow, successfully separating Hantengu's head from the rest of his body. But his victory is short-lived because he fails to take into consideration the fact that Nezuko, as a demon, must steer clear of direct sunlight in order to remain alive. The fact that Hantengu is still alive and masking his true form, which is what's causing the burns on Nezuko's skin, makes the situation a great deal more precarious. Tanjiro makes an attempt to shield Nezuko from the sun, but he is aware that Hantengu is moving closer to the swordsmiths in the area, which puts the lives of innocent people in danger. Tanjiro makes an effort to shield Nezuko from the sun, when Nezuko pushes Tanjiro away and insists on rescuing the villagers, despite the fact that doing so will most certainly result in her own death. She displays a level of remarkable bravery that few people possess. As Tanjiro gathers all of his strength to uncover the actual Hantengu, he is overtaken by a multitude of feelings and memories relating to the time that the two of them spent together. As a direct consequence of this, a single well-aimed blow is all it takes for him to finish down the demon of upper rank 4, and he does so with ease. As he mourns the sacrifice that Nezuko made for the sake of others, Tanjiro is so overtaken with sorrow that he falls to his knees in the bright morning sunlight. He prays for Nezuko's soul. When one of the swordsmiths forces Tanjiro to turn around, he is taken aback to discover Nezuko standing in the bright sunlight with a smile on her face. Tanjiro was not expecting to see her in this state. To his absolute amazement, he realizes that all of a sudden, she is able to withstand the beams of the sun. They are reunited with the other demon slayers, all of whom express the same amount of shock when they see Nezuko strolling around in the sunlight and speaking a few words to them. After a few days have passed, Tanjiro and Nezuko start getting ready to return to the Butterfly Mansion where they first lived together. During the remainder of their recuperation, members of the Demon Slayer Corps will be there to accompany them and transfer them in a cart. Prior to Tanjiro's departure, he shows his appreciation to Haganazuka and the village head, and Haganazuka assures him that he will deliver the completed blade to him as soon as it is ready. The residents of the Swordsmith village congregate along the road as Tanjiro and Nezuko make their way out of the village to cheer for them as they leave. During the celebration that is being held in recognition of the accomplishments accomplished by the siblings, the air is filled with confetti. When Tanjiro says goodbye to the people who live in the village, he does so with a grin, and he also leaves behind a scene that is filled with enthusiastic support and encouragement for those who will come after him.